Very simple. There is a school. The source, the place is home. That's the center. And then it takes you, you get in the car and you travel for 5 minutes, 10 minutes to get to the school. That's the transition time when you're in transit. And then when you get to school, that's the school. That's where you appear. That's where everybody's friends are. And this is the same principle. So the cornerstone of creation is a plasma and not magnetic fields. Magnetic fields come out of plasmas and join other plasmas. So this should make it very easy for children to understand. As I said, plasma is a twisted very much like this. You have waves, magnetic fields, and then this is the center of the field. If I can show it in the background of white. This is the center of the field. You can see it. And then as the field opens up, then it manifests somewhere, it ends. That end is when the matter becomes appear. So that's how actually it looks inside the plasma. Millions and millions of fields that start from the center. The center is very much like this, as you see it. And these fields, as they open up, at one point, they become the point of where we can detect them. The center is home. Going around, traveling is the time you're in the car to get to school. And at the point that ends is the point where we become matter. That's the school. So, but in this case, the fields travel in all sorts of directions. And they are not glued together. They are free and they move. And if they attract each other, in the next program we'll talk, become gravity, and they repel each other, we call magnetical field or the atmosphere, which is for the next session. Is that much more clearer, or shall we try to find another way?
Yes, it was clearer.
It's clearer. Thank you very much.
So my son said
yes?
He understood a little bit what exactly is plasma.
Mm-hmm.
Idea what it is.
Mm-hmm. And?
It is, of course, something that the children cannot really touch it, get in touch with it. So, yeah, it is something to play with still.
If you can find them ring magnets, don't find them flat magnets. This is what we call ring magnets. Yeah? Where in the center is again where the fields are. And I put it down. And then stand it upright on its sides. Then this is more or less the same shape of a plasma. Then they understand the magnets is, you can switch it, it turns very much like this. So you very easily get him to understand what the plasma is. The problem, that's why I said we started the whole process, was not to show the field, the magnets are like this. These are magnets, you can see it, you can play with it, and it moves or jumps and it catches up. But in the universe, we don't see flat magnets. Everything is a plasma. And I think for the parents who try to teach children from the beginning, the new understanding in the creation is to get them the real from the beginning, introduce them to reality, not something that then they have to add up. It's a ring magnet. If you need them, if you can't get them, you can always send the link to us and we tell you where you can get it. Because when you're in that shape, you can see it. The magnet, so in my hand, is about 20 centimeters away. You can see it. I move it and it moves. So it's in this shape, it doesn't move when it's flat. It just jumps. But when it's loose, when it's in a spherical shape, it turns. You see, I just move a little bit. Then you can see this is nearly 10 centimeters, 7 centimeters maybe. So it's good to teach children the fact and the reality about spherical shapes, which is the plasma. And it cannot be done with flat magnets. It cannot be done with what I call very much circular magnets like this, because then they don't understand it. If you can find ring magnets and give them slight ring magnets and let them play, and then as long as they understand, it is very much, this is exactly the same as this. The egg and the magnet next to each other are exactly the same. In the center of the egg is the yolk, the source. In the center of this ring is the center of the magnetic field. And when it travels from this center to here is the time which the field transfers and transits. And when it is in the matter state, it appears as the ring. So it's the same process as the egg. In the center you have the yolk. There is a gap between the yolk and where it comes to you as an egg. This is a transition. And when it's a solid is the matter state. Because in the ring you cannot explain, in a flat magnet like this, you cannot explain it. And if the children understand this from the beginning, that inside what it is, then you find out the teaching and understanding for the generation which is going to be what I call the space generation. Then they think, they live the way the universe works. And as we see with the adults who've been brought up with the ethos of a magnet to be flat, as most of our professors and the doctors and the university graduates, now we have a problem to teach them actually the plasma is this shape, it behaves this way, and we see a lot of resistance from the educated people because now they have believed and they have lived with a false information which they have to defend, otherwise they question their own integrity of their own knowledge. And this is one of the problems we see with a lot of plasma physicists. The top physicists at the moment and in magnetic field have a problem to accept the reality that the whole thing as a ball, a sphere, this is how it exists. And the ones who grasp it, especially at a young age, then you find out teaching becomes very easy. And then it's so logical that they can teach their own teachers in a simple way. As a professor said in the lecture I gave in the university, when the students were present, he said, I cannot tell you a lie, you heard the whole thing like me, I just learned from the beginning myself. And he's a professor in physics. So this is the reason I didn't introduce any flat magnets or to show magnetic fields. And we start from the beginning with plasma, which is the origin of the essence of the creation. Then the first few minutes is very hard because they are used to the magnets in this shape. And then they understand all they need to know is to stand it up and then rotate it. Then you see the real plasma, because for a magnet to stick to the fridge, the fields have to come out and some fields have to go in. And then, but it's dynamic. So in fact the field of this matter is about this shape. And if in so many ways, if I take the center out, this is like a love sign, it's a heart. But the center sits in the middle. And then it radiates and it comes to the end and you can see it. So the whole purpose of the teachings with the Keshe Foundation, starting from last week, has been for 7 months. We've been talking and trying to teach people around the world about the plasma. And they cannot understand it because the teaching has been on the basis of a flat magnet. Now, trying to get them to think a magnet to be spherical in shape, it's been a battle for us for 7 months. So we decided we teach the children from the beginning.